I'm super excited about today's stream. But first and foremost, how is everybody doing today? I hope you're doing well. Happy 6/6. I don't remember anything else I was gonna say. But yeah, no, here, I promised I would do this yesterday, where we're finally gonna talk about how super fucked up Brother Grimm's fairy tales are, but also, like, if I'm gonna talk about Brother Grimm's fairy tales, I have to talk about my hyperfixation, which is Ever After High, because that, how I will never forgive Disney for the one thing where I'm like, I love this thing, I loved this animation, and you fucking killed it. But anyway, how are we doing today? I hope we're doing well. As you'll notice on our little thing up here, God, words, English, we're at 33 followers. 33! Honestly, so happy, thankful for all of you. 33, that means we're 2 more away from our goal, which is, I need to use this hand, 35, where we're gonna do Hogwarts house quizzes together. Now that I have multiple emails, we can finally definitively find out what on earth my Hogwarts house is, what those percentages would look like. I'm also gonna let you guys decide what your answers would be, because I am gonna make you take that percentage one, because I'm damn curious. I have a lot of nervous energy right now, and I don't really need to. I mean, you guys are great. I love hanging out with you guys. More often than not. It's usually stuff happens in my day where I'm like, ay. But, anyway. Okay. So I promise, I don't remember who it was, but somebody yesterday did not know how super fucked up Brother Grimm's fairy tales are. They are like, if you actually read Brother Grimm's fairy tales, there are no happy endings. Or if there are, it's like, kind of messed up. Dude, I cannot explain why or how. But, like, they're so messed up when you actually read the stories, and I'm like, what is this supposed to be? Because if it's a fable, I'm not learning anything. I don't know what the lesson is, because that's the whole thing of fables, right? But, like, if it's a fairy tale, which means it's meant to, like, entertain, I'm like, is this supposed to be entertaining to kids? Like, okay. Let's take the fairy tale of Sleeping Beauty. What you know about the Disney version, get that out of your mind. We don't care for the Disney version. And I'm going to get into that later. We don't care for the Disney version of this. But Brother Grimm's fairy tale is, here's a princess. She, again, like some sort of, I don't remember exactly how she got cursed. I just remember, like, you know, the spinning wheel, right? That's what it's called. So, the spindle, right? She pricks her hand on the spindle, and she sleeps for 100 years. Not just, like, a day, if you watch the Disney one. It's 100 fucking years. So anyone or anything she could have ever possibly known is definitely gone. Right? It's just gone. And she doesn't wake up yet. No, okay? What happens in those 100 years is that a prince comes along and sees her body, her sleeping body. Everybody assumes she's just dead, right? Because, like, you know, when you're asleep, you're kind of like, right? Like, no one would imagine you were alive. You're just, nobody could tell, right? You come across a body in the middle of the woods in like a, I don't know, it's not a castle, and it's not a cottage, but it's like, it's a weird place. It's like very run down, because again, 100 years. You come across a body, and your first instinct is to sleep with it? Okay, Disney was very tame, where it's like, true love's kiss, because y'all already met. No. She's never met this man in her life. It's a random-ass prince who's just coming in. I think it is a prince, though. Memories are hazy, and I could search this up, but I kind of don't want to. But, like, his first thought on seeing this body is, she's hot, I'm a fucker. What? You see a body in like a semi-corpse-like state, and you think, oh, I'm not gonna help her. You just think, I'm a fucker, right? She still doesn't wake up from all this, so essentially she gets raped in her sleep. Sorry, graped. Because we're not trying to use harsh words here. She eventually becomes pregnant with his kids. They have twins, right? Obviously, she's not conscious, so she can't push the babies out. So what they do is they cut her out. They cut the babies out. Happy tumor day to them. And she's still asleep. She is still asleep. Her kids are growing up, and what happens is, one of her kids decides, I'm gonna suck on my mom's thumb, or like one of her fingers, and it's the finger that she used to touch the spinning wheel, right? So the baby ends up sucking the splinter out, and that's when she wakes up, and she finds out that, oh, technically speaking, she's married to a man she has never met and has kids, and that's the end of that. If that's supposed to be like an entertaining thing for kids, I am concerned about what is happening at the time. Right? Then you have Ever After High. Ever After High, right, is like Disney's Descendants. But instead of the Disney version of the fairy tales, it's the Brother Grimm version of the fairy tales. Ay, right? It's messed up. Let's take Little Mermaid, right? Little Mermaid, the original, like, Hans Christian Andersen's, like, fairy tales, right? Honestly, it's yapping about all things fairy tale. Let's be honest here. It's not just Brothers Grimm. It's, 'cause, yeah, fairy. I need to update that. That's the thing. Yeah. No, right? Little Mermaid is that it's the same type of beginning, right? She's a mermaid, she goes, she saves a guy from getting drowned from his boat in the middle of the sea. She saves him. She's like, oh my god, he's so pretty, I need to be with him. So, she goes to see Sea Witch, right? Here's the detail that they don't include in the Disney one, because it's a little too right. No, that's not the right word I want to use. No, but it's dark, right? She's like, to the Sea Witch, you give me your voice, and I will give you a pair of legs. However, here is the fine the fine lines, the details, right? You cannot speak, and every time that you must move your legs, you will feel pins and needles in every freaking surface. It's essentially super painful for her to move at all on land. And she cannot express the pain because she cannot speak. And also, like, she's giving the deadline, hey, you gotta make this guy fall in love with you if you want the pain to stop and if you want your voice back. That's it. Sea Witch is actually not the villain here. She's like, I will make this deal with you, but here's the fine details. Or do you still want to do this? And she's like, hell yeah, I will do this for a guy I just met. Huh? No. Right? So then she goes on land, right? They hang out. Here's the thing. He does not fall in love with her. There is somebody else that they just so happen to meet. Where somehow, normal human being convinces the guy that she was the one who saved him. No, that's not it. Brain's not braining. No, that's not it. Oh, fuck. No, here's the thing. They meet another person. It's another woman. And he ends up falling in love with the other woman. Poor Little Mermaid, right? I don't know if her name's actually meant to be Ariel or if that's just Disney Liberty words. I don't remember. But, like... right? So her sisters, right? They find out about this. Like, he gets married to the other woman. And she's like, okay, that's fine. She still loves him, but it's like, you didn't do this. Oh no, Sea Witch didn't give her a time date to fall in love with him. It's just like, hey, here you go. But it's like, meh. So then her sisters find out. They find out how sad she is about this. So it's like, hey, here's what we figured out. If you kill him with this knife and let his blood drip onto your feet, you can turn back into a mermaid and spend the rest of your life with us. AKA, you can come back. The only thing you have to do is kill the man that you supposedly love. And he's already married to somebody else. What happens instead? She does not kill him. She doesn't, nothing happens. She instead dies and becomes Seafoam. And that's the end of that story. You see, they're like super messed up, and I'm like, these are meant for kids. I don't see it. I don't see the correlation there. But I feel like I'm sounding very insane. Like I'm that one meme of the guy that has all of the red lines going everywhere for evidence, and I'm like, this is how my brain is working right now. So Ever After High is like Disney's Descendants, but instead of, the Disneyfied tame version of them, it's the original versions of their stories. The idea is pretty much the same. It's the kids of these characters from these fairy tale stories trying to just live their life. What makes it different from Descendants, right? Ever After High is about, hey, are you going to repeat the story that your parents did? Are you essentially going to become the next, whatever, right? Will you repeat the story and follow in your destiny? Or something that's never been done before until we get to the start of Ever After High is, do you want to write your own story and figure things out yourself? So either you choose to follow the destiny or you're rebelling against your destiny. That is the premise of Ever After High. Well, not really rebelling against your destiny, but it's like you get to choose your own thing. That is the premise of Ever After High. God, those dolls are so pretty. Dude, I gotta show you all that. Cause Ever After High was words English. It was made around the time that Disney's Descendants was popular. So I'm like, I can't say 2012 because that's not accurate, but it was well established before Descendants. So that sort of premise was already done by Mattel purely to make dolls. They did webisodes. It's on Netflix. You can watch all of the prominent storylines. I didn't really like the last one, but it's been done before. That idea of, hey, what if we follow the kids of famous fairy tale people? Right? Ever After High was made around the same time as Monster High, and they were meant to have some sort of crossover when they were both more well established. They both have their own really dedicated fandoms, and those are pretty much coming out with a vengeance right now. You can find a lot of videos just discussing stuff about this, YouTube, TikTok, or just seeing general people talk about that fandom thing. I know, I loved it, and it was great, and the dolls were so pretty. The designs were so unique, where it's oh, I understand the reference you were going for. It's not an exact, oh, you look exactly like your supposed fairy tale parent, but oh, I get why you're named this, instead of just being a simplified version of the actual fairy tale name, which they did in Descendants, Maleficent's daughter is just Mal, Evil Queen's daughter is just Evie, Jafar's son is Jay, Cruella de Vil's son is Carlos. No creativity taken whatsoever from Disney. I am taking shots at you right now. I am mad. But no. Ever After High, you have the daughter of... I have to show you the pictures. That's not stuff you need to see. Ever After High. Oh, I love this. They stopped Ever After High. 2016, they stopped making Ever After High. When Descendants came out, Mattel knew they couldn't compete with Disney. I need to show you this. Ever After High. Oh my god, this is on Wattpad? What on earth? This is on Wattpad? Fandoms be crazy. But anyway, yeah. 2016, they stopped making Ever After High. When Descendants came out, Mattel knew they couldn't compete with Disney, and they knew attention would go towards Disney protection, which is true. A lot of people turned away from, like, Ever After High, which was its own thing, because Descendants came out, and it's just like, oh, why? Oh. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I have to show you. This was Ever After High. It's so pretty. Right? And our main characters that we follow is actually... Oh, here we go. I need to put this up on a separate thing. Thank you very much. Yeah, here we go. Premise of Ever After High is the teenage descendants of the world's most celebrated fairy tale creatures. Yeah. Confront the destiny set forth by their story at high school, whether to embrace it or reject it, right? Oh, fun fact about Ever After High is that their principals were the Brothers Grimm. Like, how cool is that, right? Okay, I won't lie. The fact that, like, the huntsman from, like, Snow White is literally just called Hunter Huntsman. I hate that. But, like, here, daughter of the Red Riding Hood is Cerise Hood. And she has her own, like, little storyline that you get to see as you watch it there. You have the Mad Hatter's daughter as Madeline Hatter. Look at the design. It's... Yeah. I realize I can zoom in. Dummy brain. But yeah, no. Look at this. Oh, God. Right? They went fantastical with the designs, and there's a lot of little, like... As you look at the designs, there's a lot of little, like, details that you wouldn't really notice or wouldn't care for. Like, Cerise's, obviously, you have, like, the branches. From, like, from, because, you know, Red Riding Hood, she goes through the wood to go to her grandmother's house and whatnot. Like this. You actually see details from the story in their outfits. Hunter Huntsman, he wears a lot of green. He is good with a bow and arrow. He is a very woodsy, sort of outdoorsman type of look, without going to, you know, big, hulky man type thing. And it's not just a flannel. Cerise Hood is very much like that flannel material, but it's made stylish, and very much like, you see, she looks a little bit like a tomboy, but still very feminine. Mad Hatter's daughter, oh my god, her hat is a little tea. The little top hat is a teacup. Her bag is a fucking tea kettle. Or teapot. I don't remember the thing. And look, all these crazy colors, but yet all these patterns together, but it makes sense. Evil Queen's daughter in this story is called Raven Queen. Why? Because, am I confusing this? I might be confusing this. But like, Raven also meaning dark. Obviously, you still have the purple, right? Purple still associated with, like, all the magic and whatnot. And you have all the high color, which is meant to, you know, kind of bring forth the whole regalness of it all. And, like, spikes on top of her head. But look how stylized this is in comparison to, like, a Disney thing. And she has her own name. I keep thinking that the reason why she's named Raven Queen is like, not only is it associated with darkness, and, like, ravens also are kind of, like a moniker of like death almost, right? Because Edgar Allan Poe had the whole thing with the ravens too. But like, guys, I assume that like ravens were also like Evil Queen's kind of henchmen almost, but I could be confusing that with like Disney's Maleficent, and I don't know for sure. But look, she has her own specified style, and it works, and it still seems very regal. Then, Snow White's daughter. Want to know what Snow White's daughter's name? It's Apple White. She's named after the apple that Snow White has to take a bite of and like fall into essentially a coma, only to be awakened by her true love, and then, she gets to live happily ever after. She's named Apple. She still has the fair skin. However, what makes her special is that she's the first Snow White descendant to have blonde hair. So it's not just, she doesn't look directly like her mother. And that, Apple White is a very interesting case, and I will get into that, right? Then you have Sleeping Beauty's daughter called Briar Beauty. You want to know the name that they used to call Snow White before she found out she was a princess? She was called Briar Rose. Briar Rose. Look at that. She has a bunch of roses, a lot of thorns, and it makes sense. That's her story. And all the pink, though. I do love her outfit. It's so cute. This is Goldilocks' daughter, which she's called Blondilocks. It's not as great, but like, look at that. It's so coquettish. I love this, man. But no, the whole premise of this really comes down to Apple and Raven Queen, right? So Apple White and Raven Queen are obviously destined to be enemies, right? Because Raven Queen is supposed to be, the one that eventually, not really kills, but like she's the one who's supposed to give the apple to Apple White and just kind of set off the whole chain of reactions for all the good things that are going to happen to Apple White, versus Raven Queen is eventually just going to have pretty much be alone all her life, and then she's just going to be doomed to prison. I don't remember the exact thing with Evil Queen. Right? So Apple really wants to follow her destiny. She really wants to be the next Snow White, because she knows that good things are coming for her, and she knows that if she follows along with her destiny, she is secure and she's going to be like safe and happy and all that stuff. Plus, her mom in the series, if you watch it, especially Dragon Games, I don't remember when Dragon Games is, but like, you see, like, she is super pressured to follow in her destiny, to make sure everyone follows their destiny, because she's essentially meant to be the next queen to rule them all, as she is the next Snow White. So that's her pressure. Then you have Raven Queen. Raven Queen, as the daughter of the Evil Queen, in this version, is meant to be one of the most evil villains ever. Because if Snow White is like the ultimate queen that rules them all, then obviously Evil Queen is going to be the biggest villain of them all in this universe. Raven Queen knows the destiny that is set before her, and she knows that she's not going to have anyone. She knows she's going to be alone, and like, if she follows along with her destiny, nothing good is going to happen for her. She already does feel the stigma of this, of like being the most hated person purely because who her mom is. That is the thing that sparks off as like, I want something better for myself. So it's that sort of dynamic throughout the whole thing, where it's like, do you want to follow your destiny, or do you rebel? So Apple White, Briar Beauty, Blondilocks, right? They all want to follow their parents' destiny at first. And then Raven Queen, Madeline Hatter, I think, has always wanted to follow her destiny. Because, like, she's just destined to go insane. But at least she'll always have other people to go insane with her in Wonderland. So, yeah. But she is best friends with Raven. So, and she supports Raven whatever she wants. Cerise Hood, I think everyone expects her to follow her destiny, and I think she does kind of go through with it, but I don't remember much. Hunter Huntsman, let's be honest, the men don't really get much of anything in here. Oh my god. I thought that was Lego. I think it's just a game. It's fine. Right? I'm so upset about these. Oh, that's a concept art if I ever saw one. Oh. See, now I'm just, like, devolving into, let me look at cool stuff. Oh, Duchess Swan. God. Oh, I now just want to go to the Ever After High thing, right? Where, let's look at the characters, right? Right? Oh, man. So, Kitty Cheshire. Right? Daughter of the Cheshire Cat. So she... I don't know if she's in the rebel side or... Because this place, it's like royals versus rebels. Royals are the ones that want to follow their destiny. Which, obviously, if you are a prince or princess, the protagonist in your story, of course you're going to want to follow along to it. Follow along with your destiny because you know that good things are coming for you. Versus rebels usually ends up being a lot of, like, side characters or, like, the villain type characters where they're like, I just want something more. I don't want the bad things to happen. That's the whole thing. Duchess Swan was annoying as fuck. Nobody liked her. But, like, I feel bad. Right? She's the daughter... Oh, my God. No. Right. She is the daughter of the Swan Princess. As part of Swan Lake as the next Odette. Yeah, she does not have a happily ever after. Oh. Okay. She's on the royal side, but royal without... Yeah. She doesn't like... Her destiny, unfortunately, for Swan Princess is that she's destined to become a swan forever until she falls in love. But even then, we don't know for sure. I didn't know this. She has a big crush on Daring Charming, which, if you didn't know, the Charmings of this world are kind of like the Smiths of our world, right? If you just need a, like, prince or princess that has no actual name in the story, most likely they're going to be a Charming. And everybody assumes, because of how good looking Daring is, that he's supposed to be, like, Apple White's Prince Charming. Like, they're destined to be together. Duchess regards Apple White as her main opponent. Did not know that. I mean, Apple White also does have the best happily ever after. That's true. Oh, Raven Queen. Perhaps only the prince. Because it's perhaps the only princess with a destiny as bad as hers. It seems like she's bothering everyone. Yeah, okay. Anyway, we discover over time if behind her ballet mask. Alright, because she does do a lot of ballet and she kind of floats on the water like a swan. Yeah. She does have friends, so it's like, yeah. Her roommate is Lizzie Hearts, which is the daughter of the Queen of Hearts. Yeah, sorry, I'm like, I'd love to yap about this, but I'm also like, I can't remember things. Yeah, she can turn into a swan. Oh, she has black plumage, which means she has black feathers. Yeah, she's cursed into be a body of the swan. Her story, yeah. Well, to be honest, not a lot of people care about the Swan Princess. That's it. Yeah, change into a swan whenever she wants. Oh, yeah, I forgot she dances on water. That's funny. Romance status is like, as soon as she gets the main guy's attention, she knows he'll ask her out. That's never gonna happen, honey. How delusional are you? Fucking hell. That's not happening. Oh, curse moment. So I guess Oh, when she gets honking mad, her feathers start flying. That's funny. I think at this point we're just gonna keep looking more into this because I'm just bored and I like this. Favorite subject is dance class. That's funny. She's really good at ballet. But, least is music. That's funny. If you must know, she honks horribly when she sings. Fable Thorn is the daughter of the evil fairy, I believe, is the thing, right? I'm like, look how cool this is, where they had all of these characters, there, all these designs, and wrote out so many backstories, and like they wrote out a lot of stories for these characters to go through, and then it didn't happen because Disney decided they wanted a piece of that pie, right? So CA Cupid is the reason why we would have the crossover between Monster High and Ever After High, right? Oh, right. CA Cupid, right? She moved, the daughter of Eros, the god of love in Greek mythology, which is the weirdest case ever because I'm like, there's nobody else like her that fits in any of these worlds, but it works. She moved from Monster High. She moved from Monster High School to Ever After High to help the matter of love with students. Yeah. Unlike other students, she doesn't come from a fairy tale. In fact, she is a myth. Yeah, she wants to help out with love stuff. I want to see what she says about this. Obviously, her father doesn't come with a story. He is a myth. Well, yeah, we know this. Heart's desire. While she does love guiding people to their special someone, it's about time she includes herself among those deserving of love. Oh, that's sad. That's true, because she can help everyone else fall in love, but she cannot get love herself. She thinks her magic is helping people listen to their heart more than the fact that her arrow can make people fall in love. Let's see. She's a terrible shot with her bow and arrow. That's interesting. So I'm like, you're gonna be the next Arrows, so you should be good with a bow and arrow. I don't know. Favorite subject is mythology, because she said you have to know where you come from before you know where you're going. I don't like history, but I guess it makes sense for you. That's a you thing. Crownculus, which I guess is calculus, because she thinks not everything can be solved with an equation. And she's friends with everyone. But yeah, she would have been the character that like, hey, I have some friends who are teenage monsters. They can help us out, and they're also they're the teenage kids of famous monsters. I know they got a reboot and like things are happening, but like look at this. Ashlyn Ella is the daughter of Cinderella. Look at her outfit. It's so sweet and romantic, and like I love her design. It's so pretty. Like damn, I'm like, oh, her secret heart's desire is naturally she would like to find true love. Obviously, her glass slipper can't be picked up by just anyone. She doesn't care if he's royalty, just as long as he's her soulmate. Interesting. She feels she is connected to nature. That's interesting. Oh yeah, Huntsman, which is supposed to be the huntsman from Snow White's story. They're dating. And they seem very happy together. I remember that episode. Where like, obviously she wants to follow her destiny, aka that's why she's royal, but she's in love with someone who is not a prince. So it's like, you can't have both worlds, but she wants that because she loves him. I'm so sad that this had to stop for this. Oh, her course moment. She says that if she is ever late for class, her exquisitely clean dresses burst into filthy old rags. She knows it is part of her story, but what a fairy fail. Ha. That's funny. Fairy fail instead of fairy tale. Little puns. Environmental magic. It is her royal responsibility to take care of the world around her. I love that for her. Least favorite. Princessology. She knows her legacy is important, but going to class to learn behave royally? Whatever after. That's funny. Yeah. Look at this. I know that the whole thing about her is that she's obsessed with shoes. So she has her own shoe store, which is called Glass Zipper Shoe Store. Yeah. She's like, true love should happen naturally. I'm so mad. I'm so upset that this, something that was so carefully curated and really planned out. I know it was just to sell dolls, but it's like, The thing I find really funny when you get to, like, Apple White is that she never actually shows much of an interest in the guy that everybody assumes is her, like, endgame, like, true love thing, which is daring charming. She never actually shows much of an interest. She just kind of, like, tolerates being around him. But you'll find out. Again, happy Pride Month, happy 6/6. Her true love is not actually a guy. It's his sister. His younger sister. Her true love is a darling charming. Wait, I want to see what they say about this. Here we go. She's the fairest one. She wants people to know she's the fairest one of all on the inside as well as the outside. Well, considering the fact that you have been incredibly selfish throughout the entire time that we have watched Ever After High, I can't say you're fair because you push everybody else to do something that they really can't, like something they don't really want, over your own thing. Like, you are willing to push everybody out of your way and make sure they all, like, follow through with their sort of fairy tale destiny, even if it means possible death, as long as you're okay. And you are so desperate to make sure that you get your happily ever after that you keep forcing down to Raven Queen, who's supposed to be your rival. Like, you keep pushing her to be like, you have to follow your destiny. You have to do this. You have to do that. Don't you care about me? Don't you care about anyone else other than yourself? And I'm like, girl, let's be honest here. You are the only one that's freaking the fuck out about all this. But then you find out it's like, like, it's not a thing. Ooh. Whenever she bats her eyes or sings a song, boys and animals can't help but come to her rescue. She wants to bring out the hero in everyone. I mean, yeah. Everyone at school thinks Prince... It's supposed to be Prince Daring Charming and she are dating. Oh, she thinks just because her story ends with them getting married doesn't mean they're an item. But they show in the show, Daring is not her prince. Daring is actually the Beast in Beauty and the Beast. He's not hers. Her story actually ends with Darling, his sister. They're quite sapphic and they're quite cute together. I love them. I love my in the closet thing. But it's like, I think she's like so far... I think she knows that she could possibly be attracted to women, but she doesn't want to act on it because, like, oh, you're Snow White's daughter. You are the Apple White. You have to live up to that insane reputation, even if that's not what you want. So I'm like, she is so far deep in the closet, but the closet is made of glass. It's like, you're not fooling anyone. But, like, I feel bad when I know more about you. But that doesn't make me stop thinking that you are incredibly selfish. You know? You know people like that where they're just like, I'm only trying to look out with you. And I'm like, no, you're trying to emotionally manipulate me for me to do what you want, rather than actually you caring about what I want or anyone else wants. I hate that as a trait, but also I'm like, it doesn't matter how traumatized you are or like the pressure you are under. The fact that you are more than willing to emotionally manipulate so many people around you, including your own friends, how can I ever really trust you or be sure that you're gonna do this? You know? Oh, she can't resist apples. She royally loses control when she sees one. Okay. She likes cooking. She swears someone keeps trying to slip poison into her food. I swear to God, I feel like she's just trying to slip poison into her own food and just blame it on everyone else. But like, her responsibilities as future queen royally seriously. Dude, I gotta. Dragon games. I remember Dragon games. It was so cool. It was so cute. It's in Dragon games. Here we go. I just want to look at the picture. It's in Dragon games where she does get poisoned by Raven's mother, the actual evil queen herself. But also, it's like, you took the evil queen out of her prison for the sake of you really wanted to make sure that your fairy tale would happen. And force Raven into essentially becoming her mother. During the time where she's supposedly, like, she's sleeping, right? And she's poisoned. Darren comes and tries to kiss her. And it doesn't work. And he spirals out of control. Because he's like, if I'm not Apple's prince, who am I? What happens instead is his sister, right here, darling and charming, she decides, oh, I'm gonna give Apple CPR. So she gives Apple a kiss and Apple wakes up. So in reality, these two sapphic queens are each other's fairy tale ending. They're gonna be married to each other. But when Apple wakes up, she assumes that Daring is the one that woke her up. And Darling doesn't say anything. So I'm like, oh man, you really thought, oof. Yeah, that's the evil queen. There she is. God, I wish we got to see so much more of this than we actually did, but it's fine. I would play the stuff, or at least show you some, I don't know, what is the thing? Like, I'm sorry, what? There's a game for this? What? Okay. Did not know that. I will save that for another time. But like, it's such a cool thing, and the fact that it's like, the dolls too are really cool. Ever After High. Let's go dolls. Oof, the fact that like, yeah, because they don't make these dolls anymore. But like, look at this. Pretty accurate thing. Where it's, oh wow, that's just a naked doll. No thank you. But like, look. The design was like very much 1-to-1 of what's happening. That's Daring, right? And that is Rosabella Beauty, aka Beauty, the daughter of Beauty and the Beast. And they show him being the Beast. Aww. But yeah, look at that. Like, look at the articulated, like, joints and everything. How detailed the design is, and look how nice every piece of, like, fabric. Like, everything is, like, very intentionally stylized and chosen. And then you put them into doll form, and it's so cute. It's so cute. Just, I'm so sad. I'm so sad that this ended up, like, not having much of a thing after Descendants came out. Because, like, oh, fingers. Fingies. Like, look at that. it's so cool and so well designed, and just it had such a dedicated fan base. It still does. But it's like, I wish we got to see more of this. But of course, we didn't because you can't compete with the mouse. It's so sad. But yeah, that. Like. It was such a. It was an original idea. Not really original enough because Disney has done, like, straight to video sequels where it's just like, oh, we're gonna follow along with these characters that you've seen before, and God, I'm like blanking on everything I ever knew. Like, here's characters that you already have seen before and love. Now we're gonna follow what happens to them after that. Like, Aladdin ends up getting like fuck ton of sequels. And you get to figure out so much more. Like Aladdin, King of Thieves. I was like, oh, okay, all right. I don't know if we ever saw Aladdin and Jasmine's child, but like we saw Ariel's daughter in Little Mermaid 2. I like Little Mermaid 2 actually. I don't mind what they chose to do because I did enjoy the Descendants movies. And I know Descendants 4 is coming out this summer, and I'm actually quite excited about that. Because, the song that they released for Descendants 4, like that sort of teaser, I was like, oh, I'm into this, okay, alright, let's go, right? But, I'm sad. Because I was like, this is such a cool thing. Where it's the Brother Grimm story. You know how they end if you know what's happened to them. Majority of them don't really have a lot of happy endings. Which is why you feel for these kids who are like either pledging to follow along in the tragic destiny or deciding I deserve better than this, God, like if you take Rapunzel's like actual fairy tale ending. Rapunzel is not a princess. The story of Rapunzel is a man and a woman were trying to have kids. The woman gets pregnant. And she's craving all kinds of batshit crazy stuff, right? They just so happen to live next. Oh, no. Okay. So, one day, she looks across and sees her neighbor's, what was it? Lettuce, like, sort of vegetation stuff. Like, it's her lettuce garden. Like, in the garden, she sees the lettuce. And she decides, I want that. My pregnancy is telling me I want those lettuce heads. So she says to her husband, I want the lettuce heads from our neighbor next door. And he decides, okay, bet, I'm gonna get you your lettuce. So he goes next door and he gets the lettuce. However, he gets caught by their neighbor. And their neighbor just so happens to be a witch. Because of course it's a witch. So, she decides, I will let you have this lettuce. I will let you have as much lettuce as you want. However, when your child is born, you shall give the child to me. I will raise it as my own. You will have no contact with this child. So it's like, yeah, so him and his wife are like, okay, sure. So the wife gets the lettuce and, for some reason she really wants lettuce. It's such a weird thing. So eventually, 9 months later, the child is born. It is a beautiful baby girl who they name Rapunzel. You know what Rapunzel is in, what was it, German, I think? Rapunzel in German, meaning, yeah. Yeah, Rapunzel literally means, like, lettuce. Okay. Rapunzel is a famed German fairy tale written by the Brothers Grimm. Rapunzel is a German word for rapion, a type of pink flower or lamb's lettuce. Yeah, her name literally just means lettuce. Yeah, her name means lettuce. They named their daughter after the thing they stole from the witch. I was like, okay, can you be any more obvious in their thing? Right. So, child is born. The witch says, I've come to collect my payment for those lettuce. They don't want to give her up, but eventually she kidnaps the child anyway, and the child stays with her. So, she decides, I'm going to keep this kid up in a tower forever. She's not allowed to contact anybody other than me. I am the only person she will ever have any sort of social interaction with, so of course she's going to be awkward and not know anything. So, she sticks the kid up in the tower, and that's where she raises her. She never actually lets Rapunzel cut her hair. Rapunzel ends up just growing out her hair, being taken care of by the witch. Obviously, Rapunzel gets older, and she wants to see the world. She wants to explore. But the witch is like, please, don't. You'll leave me all alone here. Your mother? How? Are you sure you want to leave me alone? I'm the only person who's ever known you. Nobody else is gonna like you but me. Girl boss, gaslight, gatekeep. But that's what the witch does. It's like, I'm going to make you feel guilty about wanting to leave, even though technically speaking you're 18 and you are allowed to do whatever you want. So, yeah, so the witch still, I don't know, the witch doesn't stay with her all the time, but like, I don't know where the witch goes, but the witch keeps her in the tower. One day, a prince is walking around, and he finds the tower. He hears Rapunzel singing from the tower, and he decides, I must go meet this person. So what happens? He can't get up the tower, because there's no way of getting into the tower for some random reason. You can't find it. So what happens is Rapunzel is like, I will throw down my hair. You will climb my hair, and that is how we shall meet up. That is how we shall talk. So he does that. He climbs her hair, and they really hit it off. So for a while, yeah, and then he's like, oh, I gotta go. So I don't know if it's a prince, but like for a while, she sees this guy, and he constantly like climbs into her tower. They talk. They really connect, and then he leaves her. One day she's like, to the witch, I'm actually going to leave you. You cannot stop me. So how does she get out of the tower? Oh, she falls. She doesn't use her hair like in the movie Tangled. No. She jumps out the freaking window. And what happens? No. It's not that. Okay, so What's the thing of the story, right? The witch decides she finds out, so the witch finds out that the reason why Rapunzel really wants to leave is because she's fallen in love with the man that keeps coming over to the tower. She's like, oh, I have to cut off a way for them to communicate. They cannot talk to each other. So, in Rapunzel's sleep, she cuts off Rapunzel's hair. Now there's no way for her to leave, and the guy can't come up there for her. At the bottom of the tower is a bunch of thorn bushes, a lot of brambles and whatnot. Rapunzel decides enough is enough. I'm still gonna leave you anyway. So she leaves. How does she leave? She jumps out the tower because there is no other way for her to actually get out. But because of all the little thorns and brambles at the bottom of the tower, it blinds her. And she cannot see. The guy, what happens? The guy that she falls in love with, right? He doesn't know how to find her because she's not there at the tower anymore. Right, Rapunzel. Thank you. Yeah. Right, so Rapunzel. Okay, what is it? What is the thing? Oh, right. Okay, yeah, I forgot. Wow, I actually know much more of this then. Oh, okay. So the prince hears Rapunzel singing and he has no way to enter the tower. How he finds out how to get to her is by watching the witch enter the tower. So that's how he tricks Rapunzel into letting him in. And that's how they meet and they fall in love. And they try to make an escape. Yeah, and they decide, okay, we gotta get you out. Before they can make their escape, Rapunzel instantly makes the mistake of telling the witch about the prince, which is not great. It's not good. I don't remember the ending. I was like, okay, here we go. Oh. Okay. So she makes the mistake of telling all her clothes are tight around. Oh no. Okay. Oh, okay. I had to look up Wikipedia. All right. Okay. So the couple plans the means of escape. The prince will bring his wife, Rapunzel, because apparently they marry while she's in the tower, a strand of silk every night until she has enough to make a ladder for her to climb down the tower and ride away with him on horseback. However, the witch finds her, and oh no, the witch decides to visit, and Rapunzel asks her why her clothes are tight around the waist. So she gets pregnant. She gets pregnant before she can escape. God damn, they were getting busy up in the tower. Holy shit. Okay. In anger, the witch cuts off Rapunzel's hair and banishes her into the wilderness to fend for herself. Okay, that's it. She's fending for herself. Ay, I got this messed up. Okay. When the prince calls, when the prince comes back to the tower and like does the secret thing of trying to get up, he climbs up the hair. And when he gets to the tower, he finds it's the witch and not Rapunzel. After the witch tells the prince, in a rage he will never see Rapunzel again, he throws himself from the tower, landing in a patch of thorns. He survives, but the thorns blind him. That's it. Okay. A month later, in the wilderness, Rapunzel gives birth to her twin children with the prince, which is a boy and a girl. For some years, the blind prince wanders through the wastelands of the country and eventually comes to the wilderness where Rapunzel has been living with their children. One day, as Rapunzel sings, the prince hears her voice again and they are reunited. When they fall into each other's arms, Rapunzel sheds tears, two of which fall into the prince's eyes, immediately restoring his sight. The prince leads Rapunzel and their kids to his kingdom where they live happily ever after. Another version of the story ends with the revelation that the sorceress had untied Rapunzel's hair after the prince leapt from the tower, and it slipped from her hands and landed far below, leaving her trapped in the tower. That's absolutely batshit insane. But it's like, it's crazy. It's so crazy that was an actual written thing for kids to just peruse. Where I'm like, oh, Into the Woods, right? Into the Woods is a little bit more, accurate with, like, the Brother Grimm's fairy tale stuff. But honestly, though, wait a minute. I have to show you guys something that I just found now that I think is interesting. So here, when you put up Rapunzel Brother Grimm's summary, because I wanted to be sure, the original story of Rapunzel. Rapunzel's real story is said to have been loosely based on a true story about a woman, Saint Barbara, in Italy around the 3rd century. The story of Barbara is that she was so beautiful that her father felt he had to lock her in a tower to protect her. What the fuck? You're kidding me. Okay, this is just a thing. The dark story of Rapunzel. Yeah. This is a Business Insider thing? Yeah, no men could get to her. Though many asked for her hand in marriage, Barbara dedicated herself to God and a newfound Christian faith and refused them all. Her father, however, was a pagan and was not pleased about her Christianity. The story goes that when she prayed for help when he drew his sword on her, God created a hole in the tower for her to escape. However, she was soon discovered and eventually beheaded by her father, who was then struck by lightning. Oh, that's grim. Grim. Okay, gosh darn. I don't know what else. I love yapping about these things, but most of the time it's like whatever comes to mind. And I cannot guarantee that anything I say makes any sort of sense. There are theories that Snow White is based on one of 2 real women, Margareta von Waldeck or Maria Sophia Margareta Katharina von Ethargel. I gotta show you the little article that we just read about Rapunzel. I gotta show you this. I just have to show you this. That's it. Like, I don't know how else to describe this. Right? Because apparently, oh god. Oh god. The real life people behind 6 famous fairy tales, right? First one. Beauty and the Beast is probably based on the tragic life of Petrus Gonsalves. I hope I'm pronouncing this right. I swear to God. In 1537, there was a young boy named Petrus who was regularly called a beast. Reportedly, this was most likely because he had a case of hypertrichosis, a condition that causes a person to grow hair all over their body, often referred to as werewolf syndrome. Huh. Poor guy. I mean, trying to be a werewolf nowadays just sounds awful. Especially back then. He was just 10 years old when he was taken from his native country, Spain, and sent to the King of France as to operate as a type of court jester. King Henry decided to take, I'm just going to say Petrus, as his little pet project. The king groomed Petrus to be a nobleman. Okay. Eventually, King Henry's wife, Catherine, who took over after the king died, found him a wife, coincidentally another woman named Catherine. Though it took some getting used to, the beauty fell in love with the Beast. They were married for 40 years and had 7 kids together, 4 of which also had hypertrichosis. Okay. That's... okay. Snow White, based off the 2 people. Von Velbeck lived in the German town of Veldeck. Cool. During the mid-1500s, when she was 17, she left her father's home, perhaps due to friction with her new stepmother, and moved to Brussels. Sorry. Words is hard. There she attracted the eye of Spain's king, Philip II. Soon after she fell ill, and many believed she was poisoned, as the couple had their fair share of detractors who believed that marrying a coal miner's daughter was beneath a king. Unfortunately, no true love's kiss to cure her, and she died at 21. Oh, that's sad. Oh, that's sad. Okay, the young woman, Maria, who also lived in Germany, in a town called Lothar am Main. I hope I'm saying this right. I'm probably not, and I'm so sorry. Born in 1729, she was the daughter of Prince Philip Christoph von Ethard, whom she lived in a castle with. Turns out her father owned a mirror factory. What? In fact, the castle they lived in now is now open to the public as a museum, and inside one of the rooms is a talking mirror, aka a toy that the prince gave to his second wife, the young baroness' stepmother, whom she is said to have a rocky relationship with. Okay, so it's so it's somebody. So the two things for Snow White is someone who had a rough, like, sort of relationship with their stepmothers, who also just so happened to either marry into royalty or lived royalty. Interesting. Pied Piper may not have been real. Scholars believe that something in the German town of Hamelin happened that may have inspired the tale. Isn't this just the dancing plague? Or at least something that happened with the dancing plague, right? Yeah, rat infestation, and they hired a man to take care of it, Pied Piper. However, the town double-crossed him and refused to pay him. So in retaliation, he played his pipe and kidnapped all the kids in the town. That's interesting. First instance of the story is said to have been a now destroyed glass window from around 13 AD. Oh man. 1300 AD. Written accounts that survive simply state that in the year of 1284, on the days of Saints John and Paul on June 26, by a piper clothed in many colors, 130 kids born in Hamelin were seduced and lost at the place of execution near the coffin. Obviously, it's changed. Some think the kids died of the plague, and the Pied Piper was the personification of death. Others believe the kids were sent away by their parents due to their extreme poverty. But others posit that the kids became part of the Children's Crusade, a doomed child-led mission aimed at converting Muslims in the Holy Land to Christianity. I don't like that one. Nearly all the theorists agreed that the Pied Piper and his whispering abilities were the personification of a force that left those behind him and could not control. I'm like running out of breath as I read this, and I also realize I'm like speed reading, which isn't great. That's a thing I do way too often. Frozen is loosely based on Hans Christian Andersen's story of the Snow Queen. Yeah. Traced back to Swedish opera singers Jenny Lind. Well, yeah. The story is that there's a queen with snow, water, Yeah, originally Frozen was actually going to be a little bit closer to the story of the Snow Queen. Elsa was actually supposed to be a villain, and Anna was just a simple village girl trying to stop her. But then they wrote Let It Go and decided to change the whole story because they like to let it go so much. So, yeah, that's why we have Frozen the way it is now. Rumor has it the acclaimed Swedish opera singer Jenny Lind was the inspiration for the titular queen. After Lind rejected Andersen's romantic pursuits, he turned her into the Snow Queen, a woman with a heart made of ice. Because of the fact that he got jilted by someone, he was like, you know what? You're a bitch, and I'm gonna write you in the worst possible way. Oh my god, was Hans Christian Andersen like the worst type of Chad? Actually, dude, no, he can't be a bad Chad. No. Talking about Rapunzel. Little Jack Horner sat in the corner eating his pie. He stuck in his tongue, pulled out a plum, and said, "What a good boy am I?" That's the nursery rhyme. Little Jack Horner was a real steward and the abbot of Glastonbury in the 1500s. Eating his Christmas pie. He stuck in his thumb, pulled out a plum, and said, "What a good boy am I?" Metaphorically speaking, it's about opportunism and greed. Oh, no. Those are not good ones. Jack Horner was actually Thomas Horner, a steward to the abbot of Glastonbury. At the time, King Henry VIII was taking property from the church for himself, so Horner was sent to bribe the king with deeds to other plots of land, so the church could keep their own land. What were these deeds? Based inside a pie to conceal them. That said, the pie could have simply been a metaphor for concealment, not an actual pie. It would have been funny if it was. Apparently, Horner decided to take a deed for himself, sticking his thumb into the pie to grab one for Mel's Manor, a home in Somerset. The Horners went on to live there for hundreds of years. And there you go. Who would have thought? Surprise, surprise, I feel out of breath and quite tired from all of that. Yeah. I can't quite think of anything else to say about this, because I'm just like, I do really like this, and I think it's fascinating, but also I'm like, I don't have anything else I can say about this now. So, starting tomorrow, we're gonna continue Deltarune again. Recently been playing some Minecraft, having a lot of fun with that, so, yeah. When I feel more set up in Minecraft, I'll probably stream it with you, so that, we see how it goes. Right now, I'm trying to figure out the mechanics and try to figure out how the hell do I survive first. But also, I might just start a creative world just to set up how I want to plan some things. In terms of, what I want to do in terms of builds. So, see what that happens. I do have some list of fan games to check out and other games that were recommended to me, so we'll see how that goes. So, yeah, I think that's it for me today, guys. I'm literally just slowly but surely leaning more and more back, getting more comfortable here. So, yeah, I think that's it for me today. Thank you guys for coming to today's stream. I do appreciate you guys so much. I kind of feel like I'm going to lose my voice one of these days. I don't know if I'm getting sick or is it just weird summer weather that's affecting me much more than intended. But anyway, thank you guys for coming to today's stream. Love and appreciate you all so much. I will see you tomorrow, where we're actually going to continue doing some more fighting in Deltarune. Yeah, I think I'm done for today. I've talked to myself out. Good to know. I can talk to myself for about an hour and 15 minutes. Nice. Okay. Thank you guys for coming to today's stream. I love and appreciate you all so much. If you want to follow me on other social media accounts, they're all linked in my bio. You should know what I have by now. It's YouTube for the VODs, TikTok and Instagram for funny stuff because I just like posting. The Discord invite is there as well, so if you want to join the Discord, it's there. Love to grow that a little bit more. And obviously, an account that I have not actually posted on in a long time. It's been several months since the last time I posted. You can follow me on Tumblr. It's all there. Thank you guys for coming. I'm going to transition you over to some music now. I'm so tired. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. It's been an off day, so I appreciate you for being here. Alright, transition.